Welcome to another Wanderlust Wednesday. This Wednesday we're checking out Mount Everest. It's not news. Mount Everest is Earth's highest mountain above sea level. It's located in the Mauna Kea sub-range of the Himalayas. The China-Nepal border runs across its summit point. Its elevation of 8,848 meters or 29,031 feet was most recently established in 2020 by the Nepali and Chinese authorities. My last video was the Amazon, which was massive. Now this is tall, 29,000 feet. You know, most of the planes can get up to 35,000 at the most. The TBM is 31,000 feet, for example. So this is high. A lot of these planes can't get over it or could only just get over it. The summit of Everest is the point at which Earth's surface reaches the greatest distance above sea level. Several other mountains are sometimes claimed to be the tallest mountains on Earth. Mauna Kea in Hawaii, probably said that wrong, sorry, is tallest when measured from its base. It rises over 10,200 meters, 33,460 feet when measured from its base on the mid-ocean floor, but only attains 4,205 meters, 13,796 feet above sea level. This is it, and it's mighty impressive. This is Mauna Kea. Personally, I think that both are impressive their own ways, and you have your own opinions. I will look more at Hawaii later for sure, but we're talking about Mount Everest today, and that sure is one impressive mountain. Tibet, China is to the north and Nepal to the south. As you can see, Nepal keeps most of the clouds and moisture. Much more green and cloudy in Nepal and far more arid over the mountains in Tibet. So not surprisingly, the Himalayas form a big weather barrier. The Tibetan name for Mount Everest translates as Holy Mother. I won't attempt to pronounce the actual word. It's incredible being able to check out all the places that have inhabited my dreams with this comprehensive world mapping now on Flight Simulator. Sitting out COVID here in Thailand. I could do this all day. If you like this, please like and subscribe and leave a comment too. Would love to know of anywhere else that you'd care to take a tour of. And watch out for more Wanderlust Wednesdays. I'm shooting for 1,000 subscribers at the moment to get this channel off the ground. In 1849, there was a British survey that wanted to preserve local names if possible. For example, Kangchenjunga and Dhalagiri. And Andrew Irvine, the British Survey General of India, argued that he could not find any commonly used local names, as his search for a local name was hampered by Nepal and Tibet's exclusion of foreigners. Irvine argued that because there were many local names, it would be difficult to favour one name over all others. He decided that Peak 15 should be named after British surveyor Sir George Everest, his predecessor as Surveyor General of India. Everest himself opposed the name suggested by Irvine and told the Royal Geographical Society in 1857 that Everest could not be written in Hindi nor pronounced by the native of India. Irvine's proposed name prevailed despite the objections, and in 1865 the Royal Geographical Society officially adopted Mount Everest as the name for the highest mountain in the world. Mount Everest attracts many climbers, including highly experienced mountaineers. And I have to say, after flying over it, my respect for them has doubled. I know that nowadays lots of people do it, but wow, doing this is some feat. There are two main climbing routes, one approaching the summit from the southeast in Nepal, known as the Standard Route, and the other from the north in Tibet. Can you believe this airport, stuck on the side of a mountain and surrounded by mountain? Wow, what a place for an airport. This is called Lukla Airport, and it's also known as base camp for Everest. While not posing substantial technical climbing challenges on the standard route, Everest presents many dangers such as altitude sickness, weather and wind, as well as significant hazards from avalanches and the Khumbu icefall. As of 2019, over 300 people have died on Everest, many of whose bodies remain on the mountain. The 1924 expedition resulted in one of the greatest mysteries on Everest to this day. George Mallory and Andrew Irvine made a final summit attempt on 8th of June, but never returned, sparking debate as to whether or not they were the first to reach the top. Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary made the first official ascent of Everest in 1953, using the Southeast Ridge route. Norgay had reached 8,592 meters, 28,199 feet the previous year as a member of the 1952 Swiss expedition. The Chinese mountaineering team of Wang Fuzhu, Gong Po, and Ku Yinhua, sorry if I got those wrong, made the first reported ascent of the peak from the North Ridge on the 25th of May 1960. So, even if Mallory made it, he didn't make it back down again. So hats off to Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary. One of the issues facing climbers is the frequent presence of high-speed winds. The peak of Mount Everest extends into the upper troposphere and penetrates the stratosphere, which can expose it to the fast and freezing winds of the jet stream. In February 2004, a wind speed of 280 kilometers per hour or 175 miles per hour was recorded at the summit, and winds over 160 kilometers, 100 miles per hour are common. These winds can blow climbers off Everest completely. Climbers typically aim for a 7 to 10 day window in the spring and fall, when the Asian monsoon season is either starting up or ending and the winds are lighter. The air pressure at the summit is about 1/3 what it is at sea level, and by Bernoulli's principle, probably pronounced that wrong as well, the winds can lower the pressure further, causing an additional 14% reduction in oxygen to climbers. The reduction in oxygen availability comes from the reduced overall pressure, not a reduction in the ratio of oxygen to other gases. All divers will understand what that. The northern approach to the mountain was discovered by George Mallory and Guy Bullock on the 1921 British Reconnaissance Expedition. Now these guys really fascinate me. Look at them, just look at them, look what they're wearing. It was an exploratory expedition not equipped for a serious attempt to climb the mountain, with Mallory leading and thus becoming the first European to set foot on Everest's flanks. They climbed the North Col to an altitude of 7,005 meters, 22,982 feet. From there, Mallory espied a route to the top, but the party was unprepared for the great task of climbing any further and descended. The British returned for a 1922 expedition. George Finch climbed using oxygen for the first time. He ascended at a remarkable speed, 290 meters or 951 feet per hour, and reached an altitude of 8,320 meters, 27,300 feet. The first time a human reported to climb higher than 8,000 meters. Mallory and Colonel Felix Norton made a second unsuccessful attempt. The next expedition was in 1924. The initial attempt by Mallory and George Bruce was aborted when weather conditions prevented the establishment of Camp 6. The next attempt was that of Norton and Somerville, who climbed without oxygen and in perfect weather, traversing the north face into the Great Couloir. Norton managed to reach 8,550 meters, 28,050 feet, though he ascended only 30 meters, 98 feet or so in the last hour. Mallory rustled up oxygen equipment for a last-ditch effort. He chose young Andrew Irvine as his partner. On 8th of June 1924, George Mallory and Andrew Irvine made an attempt on the summit via the North Col North Ridge Northeast Ridge route, from which they never returned. On the 1st of May 1999, the Mallory and Irvine research expedition found Mallory's body on the north face in a snow basin below and to the west of the traditional site of Camp 6. Controversy is raised in the mountaineering community whether one or both of them reached the summit 29 years before the confirmed ascent and safe descent, very crucially, of Everest by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953. Whatever though, hats off to these guys. Wow, what spirit, and hats off to everyone who still does it, I think. The Mallory and Irvine research expedition, sponsored in part by the TV show Nova and the BBC, and organised and led by Eric Simonson, arrived at Everest to search for the lost pair, guided by the research of Jochen Hemleb, definitely don't know how to say that word. Within hours of beginning the search of 1st of May, Konrad Anker found a frozen body at 26,760 feet, 8,157 meters, on the north face of the mountain. As the body was found below where Irvine's axe had been found in 1933 at 27,760 feet, 8,461 meters, the team expected it to be Irvine's and were hoping to recover the camera that he had reportedly carried with him. They were surprised to find that name tags on the body clothing bore the name of G. Lee Mallory. The body was well preserved due to the freezing conditions. A brass altimeter, a stag-handled lamb's foot pocket knife with leather slipcase, and an unbroken pair of snow goggles were recovered from the pockets of the clothing. Personal effects, including a letter and a bill from a London supplier of climbing equipment, confirmed the identity of the body. That's amazing, isn't it? I guess it's very dry as well up there. Just unbelievable. The team could not, however, locate the camera that the two climbers took to document their final summit attempt. Experts from Kodak have said that if a camera is ever found, some chance exists that its film could be developed to produce printable images. Before leaving the site of Mallory's death, the expedition conducted an Anglican service for the climber and covered his remains with a cairn on the mountain, if you're wondering what happened to him. These guys were tough, and Mallory had already been through the Battle of the Somme in World War I. Just look again at these clothes these guys were wearing compared to what he's worn now. Nothing against what they're doing now, that's just sensible. But, incredible. If you look at his clothes up there, there's just a tough pair of boots and a stiff jacket. It's wow. So, there was even a study done to see if these clothes were adequate for the job, and they meticulously studied the fragments that were left and made a copy. This set of the replicas were then tested on Everest by Graham Hoyland, BBC producer and great-nephew of 1924 expedition member Howard Somerville. Hoyland tested the replicas at 5,150 meters base camp, and again at 6,340 meters above advanced base camp. He concluded that the clothing was extremely comfortable, providing warmth and ease of movement, although probably not warm enough to survive a high-altitude bivouac if anything went wrong during the summit attempt. Also, not just these guys, but this is incredible as well. Look at these photos. These are real. Lady Houston, a British millionairess, funded the Houston Everest flight of 1933, which saw a formation of two aeroplanes led by the Marquess of Clydesdale fly over the Everest summit. Wow, I had a little attempt. Didn't go so well. Maybe I'll try again later. By the 2010s, there are hundreds of ascents. 2019 was a record year with 891 summiters. Many casualties too, though, throughout the years, and it's still not easy. There is very little native flora or fauna on Everest. A moss grows at 6,480 meters, 21,260 feet. It may be the highest altitude plant species. An alpine cushion plant called Arenaria is known to grow below 5,500 meters, 18,000 feet in the region. According to the study based on satellite data from 1993 to 2018, vegetation is expanding in the Everest region. Researchers have found plants in areas that were previously deemed bare. There's a minute black jumping spider that has also been found on elevations as high as 6,700 meters, 22,000 feet, possibly making it the highest confirmed non-microscopic permanent resident on Earth. In the base camp of Everest, another jumping spider occurs, Euryphirus everestensis. It lurks in the crevices and may feed on frozen insects that have been blown there by the wind. There is a high likelihood of microscopic life at even higher altitudes. Birds, such as bar-headed goose, have been seen flying at the higher altitudes of the mountain, while others, such as the chough, have been spotted as high as the South Col at 7,920 meters, 25,980 feet. In 1953, George Lowe, who was part of the expedition of Tenzing and Hillary, said that he saw bar-headed geese flying over Everest summit. Yaks are often used to haul gear for Mountain Everest climbs. They can haul 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, have thick fur and large lungs. One common piece of advice is to stand higher than the yaks and other animals, as they can knock you off the mountain. Other animals in the region called the Himalaya tahr, which is sometimes eaten by snow leopards. The Himalayan black bear can be found up to about 4,300 meters, 14,000 feet, and the red panda is also present in the region. One expedition found a surprising range of species in the region, including a pika and 10 new species of ants. So, all in all, fantastic, and another beautiful part of the world. Thanks for getting this far, and please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and help me get to 1,000 plus subscribers. And I'll see you all on the next Wanderlust Wednesday. I've also done a couple of others in this series, a reality check of Flight Simulator versus the real world via Koh Phangan, and a tour of the Amazon rainforest. Check them out. Thanks a lot. Bye. The next Wanderlust Wednesday will be a continent, Antarctica. Hope you'll join us then.